Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome to another video. So, I've hit the point where I can LP all my gear to T4, and I decided at this point it would be super fun to go into a 2v2 Hellgate, try and kill as many bosses as we can, maybe even see if we get lucky and get a free Hellgate, see if we can do it, and yeah, just have a bit of fun, honestly. Throw away the gear, doesn't really matter at this point. The only thing I am upset about is I brought a mount, which feels bad. We don't have T5 Reaver, as you can see. We're still like 78k away from T5 Reaver. But you know what? This just seemed like it would be a fun idea, so I thought that would be my challenge of this episode, to see how far we can get in this, and even if we can kill stuff, because honestly, it's not guaranteed to be easy to kill stuff, but you can definitely see how like strong one-hand nature is. I'm not having any issues so far. I am using poison pots just to speed things up. And of course, right behind us, there is actually a group. There's a broadsword, a Clarent, and a nature. Now, my goal here is purely to finish the boss. I don't care about them. I don't care about any of this. I just want this boss. We got it. Oh, we got an egg as well. So I'm not sure what they're running. Are they running double Fiend Cow? Maybe. The problem is mobs hit so hard that I can't even run away from these guys for too long. We're going to see what we can do here, though. Oh my god, what are they running? Oh, he's fearing me back! That's super smart. Oh my god! What is this? What is that team? Okay, we died. It happens. We knew we were going to die. I got a boss. It was worth. We'll call it worth. We go back to nearest sea. To sell all of that stuff, I'd have maybe got 15k with the mount, maybe about 3k without it. So, honestly, wasn't that upset. So, great show from them guys. That was a weird-ass team. But Double Fiend is fairly annoying. But we can now wear everything T4, and honestly, didn't take that long. I am currently 10k fame in. It's taking me about an hour. In between like running around and random AFKs as well, because I do AFK on this game a fair bit. My MS is super high and I don't know what's causing it. It's starting to bug me. But we have got T3 Adventurer, which means we don't need another donkey. We have got all of our T4 gear, which in itself is quite nice. Let's go get ourselves a cape, a bag, and a horse. And now we can start doing some fun stuff. So now we're going to start going out to T4 zones. And at this point, it turns into a little bit of a grind. So after this episode, the next episode will probably be more of like a highlight sort of setup. Just because, honestly, it's not that fun just to watch someone grind their way to, I don't know, 150? I want 50. It's not that fun to watch someone grind their way up to T6. Once we get to T6, we can start doing Hellgates and we can start doing maybe yellow GvGs and things like that. Going to see if we can try and get into a ZvZ tonight on this character. That'll be fun. So yeah, we'll just take it one step at a time. I've got 100 plus MS at the moment. Not really sure what's causing this lag, but it's almost getting to the point where it's just unplayable. I can assure you it's not my end, so I can only apologize if it's quite laggy. Sandbox, fix your game. Just throwing that out there. And yeah, let's get some. We're gonna get some stew. I wish there's a way to like combine food now with the new fish in. I wish you could combine food so that I could have like the damage of an omelette, the damage of a stew with like the cast speed of an omelette. Maybe one day. Maybe one day I can make a stew omelette. But we're just going to go back. We're going to go to the next zone over, and it's time to start. So, guys, something I've seen in one of the earlier episodes in the comments is people asking, what am I going to do about a guild? What's my plans in terms of a guild? And honestly, not really sure. So, I've mentioned it in other episodes as well. I don't want to be in a guild where I'm like known, where I'm going to get a load of help, because that's not the point of this experience. But the point of the experience is to be in a guild. because a new player would want to end up being in a guild. So it's a bit of a weird situation. So please let me know in the comments what you guys think about that, if I haven't already sort of something out. And yeah, that's kind of the question for this video. At this point, I'm very tempted to actually join in with Fricks if they'll have me. Just have a laugh with those guys, maybe join some Zergs with those guys. They definitely have a lot of activity in the guild, and I feel like that's something a new player would go for quite actively. They probably wouldn't go for like the Mercier guild straight away. They'd probably be looking for an active guild. Yeah, not sure what's going on with the FPS and MS at the moment. As far as I know, this is like an Albion issue, but this is unplayable. Not very fun at all. So I haven't had any PvP encounters in the Blackzone yet. And honestly, don't really want any. So they look like they're massing up for some sort of ZvZ. Obviously, new players probably wouldn't know that, but if you look at his gear, look at his items, you can pretty quickly sort of figure out what he's looking towards doing. He's running mage sandals and the what's it called? Morningstar, not the flail anymore, the Morningstar. So I can pretty much guess that he's out for some ZvZs. Now let's just take a minute and look at the amount of fame I'm going to get from these T4 only roaming mobs, because it's actually pretty insane. So normally I would try to stack them up, but at this point it's actually too laggy to be able to even do that. But my healing has gone up massively. I mean, 40 odd per tick right now. Oh, sorry, let's have a look. 20, 40, there we go. So we're getting like 370k, 370 fame per mob. Not a bad amount at all. We're able to pull multiple mobs. I'm actually going to go and check out a dungeon as well soon, because I feel like a dungeon would be... I don't know if the boss is worth it, honestly, for the amount of fame that you do lose. Not sure if this is a wise idea, but again, we're about experimenting things. I'm hitting as many things as I can here with my E's, with my W, sorry. And boom, look at that heal. Look at that heal. So I'm using Druid Robes now. This is what I'll end up running. Is that a tome? It's an egg. It's not a tome. We've gone back to the snowball days where everything looks like it should be a tome. Obviously, they weren't out then, but you know what I mean. You get it. So again, I'm going to stick around for too long in this episode. It was more to just sort of show that I've got to T4, an hour of playing the game. Honestly, that should be most new players' sort of first instincts. They want to go to the best fame possible. And I think Blackzones, you're very, very safe. That's not a tome either. That's not a tome either. You want to go to the sort of best places possible. Blackzone is probably a good shout for that, honestly. And you can just see we were at 1% before. Obviously, we did get the 3k from a Hellgate boss, which did help. But honestly, I'm getting fame pretty damn quickly now. In terms of the eggs, now I've had a look at the eggs. They were selling for 147 silver insta sales on the auction house each, with something being sold for 5k on like the special vendor. That special vendor item was selling for a fair fortune. And honestly, I think if you are doing a new character or you are new to the game, eggs are definitely the way to go. Come to the Blackzone, kill every egg item you see, and go back to town and just either sell all the eggs off or buy the festive item and just sell it on for a small fortune. You will make a lot of money out of it, and honestly, I think it's very, very free money. It might not be the most efficient, but actually, I killed 4 chests earlier, got 100 eggs, which is about 15k worth of silver, which in itself is not half bad. So again, nature, not really built for soloing as such, but not really built for doing damage, but does a great job really solo, just because the amount of healing you do put out is really nice, and the fact that you can keep yourself alive during it obviously does help as well. So I am pulling everything here. It wasn't intentional, but you know, I can't actually find out where the mobs are hitting because this is so laggy. Oh my god. I will try and find out what these issues are, but this is pretty insane, unfortunately, so I can only apologise for this. So I'm just going to run around and heal a second. We've killed 2, so we should be a lot safer now. I would feel very confident pulling these 4 packs if there was no lag. You can dodge all the skill shots. You just keep as many dots out as possible. And yeah, you're absolutely fine. My E heals for 508 with a 3 stack right now, which is just insane. Honestly, that in itself is just broken for the amount of healing it gives me. I mean, it literally heals me for a third of my health, as long as I've got 3 Q stacks on, which I should have on most of the time anyway, especially when I'm using my E. Waited till T4 Reaver. Actually did do the T3 roaming mobs. I didn't think I would. I thought I'd go straight to T4. Seems silly, but that little bit of damage that T4 Reaver gives you, that 35%, actually makes a huge difference. It really does make a difference, and I'd be pretty lost without it. So part of me is actually tempted to LP early, and that's completely opposite of what a new player should do. You should never LP mastery, you should never LP early, you should try and save it for later every time you can. The problem is, I'm thinking of it from like a content perspective. The quicker I get to T6, the quicker I can start doing more content. So, not really sure. If you guys are super desperate for me to start doing Hellgates and stuff like that as nature, then I will probably LP it. If you guys are happy with me doing like a highlight video of me getting levels, then I can also do that as well. But, I mean, it's a fairly easy leveling experience. Obviously, not everyone's leveling experience would go this easy. It just wouldn't, and I get that. But realistically, if you're confident and if you're playing something semi-viable, and this is something I would say to all players looking to try and do something, do it, you won't. Okay, you go. This is something I would say to all people that are trying a new character or playing the game for the first time. Try and pick something meta. And the reason I say that, not everyone wants to play something in meta, but you will pick up a lot more about the game a lot quicker if you're playing something meta, something viable, because you give yourself the best opportunity possible. With the Steam release coming soon, I will be releasing like build guides and new player build guides and things like that, as I did with the official Albion release. So there are all them good stuff to come if you're not sure what to play. And yeah, I've just released my ZvZ. I've just finished the ZvZ weapon tier list. The GvG weapon tier list will be out by now as well, actually. So yeah, so you've definitely got some stuff you can go and check on my channel to find out what's the best stuff to be playing right now. And yeah, so we're going to dive into this dungeon quickly. I want to see what the fame is like in terms of the roaming mobs compared to the dungeon mobs. I think actually the dungeon mobs do give worse fame, but we'll have to find that out. And yeah, we'll go and kill the boss, and that'll probably be this video done. Nice and short. I say short, it's actually been 13 minutes. Obviously, haven't really had my first PvP open world encounter. That death set me back a whole 576 kill fame, which is whatever. I'm not really upset about it, to be honest. Yeah, set me back a little bit of kill fame, death fame, but it's no problem. The first player we find should rectify that for us. And I am going to be looking for fights actively as well, not just trying to avoid them. I will actively be looking to take fights against people because that's part of the experience. People will take fights. I don't know my limits with this build, so taking fights that are silly is kind of the fun of it, honestly. So from this, we're getting like 100 less fame per mob, which is almost like a tier difference. Actually, that's a lot more than I thought it was going to be. But roaming mobs are a lot more spread out. In terms of fame, I still think dungeons might be more efficient solo, but not 100% with that, so kind of take it as it is. Honestly, I would just be doing like fast runs to the bosses, which is pretty much what I'm going to be doing. Maybe kill all the roaming mobs you see on the way to the next dungeon, run to the boss, and do that sort of rotation. I think that might just be optimal. Yeah, so pretty easy. Again, lagging like hell. Again, I can only apologise for this. Just looking back on the silver, actually, because that's something interesting to note. I've only spent really... I bought 2 sets of gear, 2 mounts, 2 capes, and then a load of poison potions. And I've spent effectively 120k, which is a lot more than I thought I would. I'm burning through money, so I have to be a little bit careful with money now. T5 is that weird level as well, in that no one really crafts stuff T5, so I'm probably not going to invest too much money into T5 gear. Probably just stay and wait with T4 gear till I get to T6 is kind of my goal at this point. Whether I stick to that, we'll kind of see how it goes. Not really sure yet, but that's kind of my goal at this moment. This is 125 with 8 stacks of Druid Robe. That's a pretty sweet amount of healing, honestly. Amount of damage, honestly. Should be able to kill these bombs off pretty quickly. Is that a tome? That's not a tome either. I'm really ready for that next tome. So if I see any more tomes, I'm probably going to be using them because I'm not using LP. And actually, the quicker I get to... I actually need 40 mastery before I can really do Hellgates on nature, just because I actually need protection of nature. I can run cleanse, but protection of nature is just straight up better. So I don't really want to go in with like subpar skills. If I can get the right skills, then I'll go for that first. And honestly, once I get to Hellgates, I'm probably just going to hard farm Hellgates, get a lot of my fame from in there. So we're going to rush in, kill this boss, and then yeah, we should be all Gucci. Again, there are open world roaming mob bosses, which are fairly efficient. Oh, we actually got the General. Big boss on our first attempt. I'm okay with this. And I'm pretty confident in my ability to solo him. So let's see how this goes. Maybe we'll get a tome, maybe we'll get some good loot. Maybe we'll just get anything we can sell for money, you know, whatever. Do have to be careful, obviously. But when I say you have to be careful, look at the prime times of the zones you're in before you go and farm in those zones. And the reason I say that is because if you're in NA times, as we're starting to get into NA times now, you don't want to be in the NA zones because they're likely to be a lot more populated. Whereas if you go to the EU zones in the NA times, they're likely to be a lot less populated. And so on with the other way around as well. And you do have to think about stuff like this if you want to be able to fame the most efficiently. So we're getting into NA time zones. And the only reason I'm staying locked to this sort of half of Anglia is because I'm actually going to try and go to a ZvZ later on this character. So I want to be locked into the right place. But at the time, if I could go anywhere, I would probably go southern Anglia right now. So I'm not going to be able to interrupt any of them skulls. I am going to poison pot him just to try and kill this quicker. He's not doing any damage, actually. I'm a little bit surprised. I'm burning through energy, though. So I am burning through energy. The poison pots wore off. My druid robes have wore off. But he is half health, or less than half health, actually. So we're just going to keep kiting around. He's honestly not doing any damage. I'm waiting for him to start doing his cleave swing thing that I'm expecting. But he just doesn't seem to be doing it. There we go. That'll be the one. And it's actually avoidable now. Okay, yeah, this boss is going to be quite easy. I actually thought it would be a lot harder because the higher tier ones and the old versions were harder. But that's no problem. I'm not really managing my stacks very well. Again, nature is quite a high skill cap weapon. And I've just not played it long enough to be like the best at it. Stood in that skull was just very interesting how much damage it actually did. Looks like we're just going to be able to sort of... I'm actually going to pop cleanse just to give me another druid stack. And he's going to go down. Let's see how much fame. We get 5k fame. We get a tome as well. Look at us, boys. We're in luck. Now, I could sell the tome, make my money, but at the moment my goal is to get higher tier. So I am going to use the tome. So this is our first tome that we're going to use on this series. It's also the second tome that we've actually received. So yeah. Gonna pick up this chest, get some more eggs. Let's put that tome on, and boom. We are now mastery level 2. Yay. So guys, thank you for watching. Hope you guys have enjoyed. It's been quite fun so far. Gonna be carrying on. Hopefully get another episode when I do the ZvZ. That could be quite a fun experience, honestly. So guys, thank you for watching, and see you in the next episode. Catch you later.